talk first about the biggest of these, even though it's not going anywhere for now. AT&T saying they're not going to bid for Vodafone. How do you interpret this? Because they've said that this is to comply with UK takeover laws, which means because of the speculation in the market about a deal, they had to come out and say something. And what they've said is they're not interested. That means they can't bid for 6 months. Does that mean they might bid after 6 months?
It might well mean that they might bid after 6 months. What happened with this speculation? Well, let's go a couple of steps back. When Vodafone sold the stake in Verizon, immediately the market started speculating, okay, now it's time for AT&T to move ahead and see whether they can do something with Vodafone. That pushed up the Vodafone price, and sort of AT&T got priced out, even without wanting, from this deal. And then, as you say, the regulation will have forced them now to come out and say, yes, we want or we do not want. Now, in this instance, they say we cannot go ahead at the moment with the acquisition of Vodafone. A reason why? Well, there are a number of reasons. One is the price of Vodafone in the past 6 months has gone up so much that probably this deal doesn't make sense
It's a bit cheaper this morning, but yes.
Yeah, this morning is a bit cheaper, but
yeah,
following...
But now they can't do anything for 6 months.
But also what we said from the start of the speculation is that we don't really see a clear benefit
for AT&T?
For AT&T in acquiring Vodafone.
Because the argument's always been that they would like the European assets. European assets are ripe for consolidation. Vodafone comes with a lot of emerging market assets as well.
Yeah, so around the world there is a lot of interest in European assets because the European assets have a fairly low, in comparison, value. So they are cheaper to buy. These markets are weak or have been weakened by regulation and by competition, so it makes sense. But the minute that the price goes up to and let's say call it normal level, then it stops making sense for them. But from an industrial point of view, from a structural market structure point of view, we do not see any immediate benefit from it.
Is there anything that Neelie Kroes, the European Digital Commissioner, who we're reporting had meetings with the management of AT&T out in Davos, is there anything that she could have said that would have derailed this, do you think?
I don't know. What they said during the meeting is literally between the two of them. What could have derailed this deal from happening is probably Vodafone being able to command a fairly high price. And that is probably the essence of this deal not happening.
Meanwhile, whilst all of this speculation about whether Vodafone would be prey for AT&T was happening in the markets, Vodafone was busy, or is busy, planning other deals, it seems. Do you think we're going to see a more acquisitive Vodafone then? They're going to be after some of these Spanish assets. We're reporting they could be after Ono.
Yeah, we know that Vodafone has been looking around for mainly cable assets, mainly TV combined with cable, especially if there is an enterprise focus as well on this company.
Which, interestingly, is not necessarily what AT&T wants to buy them for, is that right?
No.
Or would want to buy them for?
The reason why AT&T is looking to grow is because they are in a situation of a market of 4 players back at home. AT&T relies almost entirely on the US market. This is a market that is doing okay, is doing fairly well, actually, but Sprint is becoming a lot more competitive, especially since the capital injection from SoftBank. Sprint is now talking about merging with T-Mobile in the US. So if that happens, they are going to become a very, very strong player. And that is bad news for AT&T. So they know they need to do something, and somehow they think that the Vodafone direction is probably the right one. In our view, in Forma Telecoms and Media, we've said from the start that it's probably not the best thing to do. There are other ways that they could be doing. They could be focusing more on the US market, extract more value from the existing customers.